Hold it.
And guys, that's always my favorite clip in that intro is big King Tut down there at Pamlico High School laying the lumber to that poor cornerback there at Washington County. But guys, we got everybody back here in the studio. It's another Wednesday, so that means the Preps Report. And, man, we had a very successful week one of our little show that we put together. Got the same crew back in order, including the queen of high school football, Miss Dina King here. Dina, we had a fun week. I figured we might as well do it again.
Yeah, it was a real good time. Proud of all these kids and ready to see what they bring this week.
Well, and I want to open it up to the floor before we get started, guys, because, again, I am just extremely impressed about what I've seen last week. And, we're really just kind of dipping our toe in the water, I was trying to say, a little tongue twister right there, to really get a grasp of each of your strengths and weaknesses and what you do really well. And I think over the next couple of weeks, we're really going to start opening up the playbook and letting you guys throw some deep passes instead of these little screen passes we've done these past 2 weeks. But I'll open up the floor to you guys, and I don't care who goes first. How much fun has this been, and what have you taken from it in the past couple of weeks? Not all at once.
I'll go first. I would say I think the stuff that I learned from going from week 1 to week 2, even just watching everybody else do their interview and kind of learning as I went, was a lot of fun. And I'm just the improvement that I've made, and I'm sure everybody else made from week 1 to week 2 is just going to multiply every single week that we do it. And as we get into basketball and football season, I think this is going to be a really good show that a lot of people are going to want to watch.
And, Jack, I'm glad you brought up basketball because we've got a few basketball interviews tonight. In fact, some real heavy hitters. So I look forward to seeing what you have put together for us. But, I gave you all the task of talking to someone outside of your comfort zone, going to a player outside of your school. And maybe with the exception of Tally, who did get someone out of her school, but still kind of a good connection with her. What was that like, having to maybe knock on the door or, hit somebody up on social media that you maybe didn't know?
It's good. A lot of these athletes are really courteous in the way they treat these things. They're humble, at least in my case, humble and easy to work with.
Yes.
Easy to work with.
Yes. Brianna, what about you? Hey, Brianna, I think we can't hear you. I just noticed I saw you moving your mouth, but I can't hear anything coming out. You still there? Hey, log out and come back in. That might be the best way. Sorry about that. But Chelsea got on here a little bit late this evening. Great interview. I'm telling you, you may have been the most improved from week 1 to week 2. I was really excited to see that. How much fun was it for you to talk a little basketball?
I loved it. Basketball is definitely my favorite high school sport, so I like getting into that. And I think Elijah Jameson, who I interviewed, I'd seen him play before, and I know he was transferring, so I thought it'd be the perfect opportunity to open up and see what he had to say.
Well, great. Well, guys, we're going to go ahead and get to it. We're going to kick off your interviews. I'm really anxious to hear every one of your interviews. I think everybody's going to get a pretty good enjoyment out of this. So we're going to kick a couple of you guys out of here for just a second. So let's see. I feel like I'm playing the Gong Show. You guys probably have no idea what that is, but I'm going to get rid of some.
Gong.
Brianna, let's say goodbye to you for a second. Chelsea, see ya. Tally, Jack, and now we got Jack Pamucci, the pride of Ardrey High School. And then you got yourself on mute. Tell us who you interviewed. And by the way, I shortened it just a little bit, not as much as last week, and we will post the full video. I've got to tell you, Jack, your interview questions are really good. You really have a grasp on just kind of filling out your subject and kind of getting a good interview. But tell us who you interviewed and how you brought that up together.
I interviewed Sean Bowles, the starting quarterback for Olympic High School. Olympic is like a power for football and basketball. He's all conference for the SOMEC 7 conference, Ardrey Kell, Olympic, Providence, West Mech, all those guys in South Mech. And not only is he like a really good football player, he really stands out as a leader of the team. He's spoken out for many of the movements, social movements, and as a high school athlete, that's like really big. He's spoken out for like the coronavirus, like working out, like starting workouts early. So not only is he a good athlete, I look at him as we strive to be like that as just high school students, not just athletes. So
Yes.
he's taken that, he's applied that to his workout. His work ethic is crazy. He used to live in my neighborhood before he transferred, so that's how I know him. Great guy. He's always working hard. He's always looking to get better. He's always looking to bring the people around him up. So it was a joy to interview him as well.
Great. And I saw him play. I saw Olympic last year, at least the second half of the game, checking it out with my friends Dale Ross and Coach Sam Griner from the Talking Preps crew. And we caught the second half of Olympic versus Ardrey Kell last year. And he put on a great show. Obviously, Ardrey Kell kind of pulled away from that game. They had a tremendous season, but he showed some flashes of brilliance. So, hey, without further ado, let's go ahead and get this interview off, and we'll talk about it on the other side. Here we go. The Art of Sport with Jack Pamucci.
What's going on, everybody? This is Jack from NC Preps. I'm here with Sean Bowles. Sean, you are a starting quarterback at Olympic High School. You're all-conference SOMEC 7. For the QB position, who do you look at as a reference for your own game? Like, who influences your style of play the most?
I would say there's more than one person. There's many dudes, dudes like Russell Wilson, dudes like Kyler Murray, stuff like that. Just shorter dudes that excel in the league or excel in college. And there's also dudes like Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. Just those dudes alone, they play the game a totally different way than most people do. And I feel like I play the game a totally different way than most people do. So I feel like I take bits and pieces from all four of their games and just like match it together to try to craft my own.
So you love the running quarterbacks, huh?
Yeah, but I also love to throw it, so mix it in there.
What motivates you most to play?
Really just like my drive. I feel like when I get started on something, I don't want to like end it until I get to where I want to go. And my goal has not stopped, no matter the height wise or anything like that. I have a certain goal, and I don't feel like I'm going to stop until I reach that.
What goal is that?
Just to, my first goal right now is just to get to college. That's the big thing. Mm-hmm. Just to say that I, accomplished the odds, because, there's a lot of odds against, you're not as big as other dudes that are 6'5", 6'4", stuff like that. But, I mean, I still made it out. I still, got the opportunity to do what I had to do. So I think that's my set goal I have right now.
What has been the biggest thing you've had to overcome to get to where you are now?
I would say haters or doubters, but I mean that's gonna come wherever you go, like college, NFL, it doesn't matter. But I'd say the biggest thing would be just being able to be comfortable with myself and know that I can't control everything that happens to me, but I can control what I can control, and my work ethic is one thing I can control. And if height is a problem, I don't want it to be if I'm this tall, I work hard enough to show that doesn't matter depending on it doesn't matter no matter who we play and when we play.
Well, anyhow, I got to go. Sean, thank you very much for the interview.
Great job, Jack. And Dina, I was going to bring you on here. Dina, you've interviewed a lot of people. And I like how Jack has a comfort level with his guys that he's interviewing, but he's not afraid to stick it right in there and ask some tough questions too.
Yeah, well, that's a learning. You're learning. It's good to show your real personality to some of these kids, because if they trust you and everything, they'll open up and they may tell you some real good stuff. Because with me interviewing a lot of these kids recruiting, they know they can trust me, and maybe tell me some things that kind of off the record and know that it's going to stay with me and everything. So that's a great job, Jack.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Absolutely. I thought you did exceptionally well. And let's talk about Sean. Sean Bowles. Great, well-spoken athlete. Not only is he proven to be a great quarterback on the field at Olympic, but you could tell that he is a very intelligent guy. But you could tell he's an extremely well-spoken guy. And assuming when we finally are able to hit the gridiron here in February, I think he's going to have a good season.
No, he's gonna have a really big season this year. So he's been steadily increasing his freshman, sophomore, and junior year. But I mean, this year he told me before the interview, he said, this season's gonna show who's been working during breaks.
Yes.
And this guy doesn't take a day off.
No,
Just
very
talented player in Charlotte, which is just loaded team after team. I know. I can't, we do something statewide, but, Langston always has a tough time because he's got all that talent there and award-wise and everything. So he's got a lot there to cover.
Yep. Well, Jack, let's bring Tally on. Let's see what she had to say about your interview. Tally, how was Jack?
I thought Jack did a really good job. I think definitely Jack asked the questions that a lot of us don't think to ask when we start our interviews. And also just that comfort level. I mean, you can tell like a couple of us, like we're comfortable, but we don't know those people, but you seem to really those people. So I thought you did a really good job.
Thank you. I mean, I'm close with them. So I mean, that's half of it,
Next week, we're going to have to get you somebody you don't know. I might have to start arranging some interviews. We'll see how tough you can be. Jack, great job. Stick around. We're going to bring all you guys back here a little bit later in the show. But great job, and I got to give you a huge shout out for that.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Yes, sir. All right, Tally. You obviously you had scheduled to interview someone else, didn't fall through. So I kind of said, hey, I want to hear what your dad's got to say. We heard the news a few weeks ago that he was leaving A.L. Brown High School after, golly, I don't know.
20 years.
20 years. That's what I was about to say.
Yeah, 20 years.
And that was big news in itself. And hey, you're one of the closest to him. So I figured, hey, why not have you get us all the scoop on what's going to happen the rest of his career? All right. Well, without any further ado, let me press the button and let's see what Coach has to say.
Hello and welcome to the second episode of Time Out with Tally. I'm your host, Tally Haglar, and in this episode, I'll be getting the inside scoop from renowned strength coach, Todd Haglar, who also happens to be my dad. Biggest challenges right now at River Bluff?
It's a lot of challenges. Learning the culture here, learning the procedures here from a school standpoint, learning a new offense with Coach Harden, trying to figure out where the kids are, strength and conditioning wise, and along with that, the relationships. Not having anyone that just pops in my office and sits down and wants to talk to me because we've been friends and they know me. That kind of stuff. It's tough.
Where would you see yourself in 10 years? Do you plan to stay coaching that long or retire for good? Or where do you see yourself?
Wow. Probably I would like to think I'd be coaching still in 10 years. I don't know where. I hope it's here. I hope it works great here and that everything works out and doing that and then getting close to the end of my career maybe in 10 years, but you never know. I mean, if it's something you love, I don't know why you would stop doing it other than, maybe have some other things I want to do, some traveling. My wife would love to travel around the country and do things, and I hope that one day that we can do some of those things and not have to be working all the time.
Making this move was a big decision for you. It had a lot of tough choices you had to make. So what advice would you give to the seniors this year making tough decisions about their future?
Weigh it all out, pray about it, and go. There's going to be some tough decisions and things are going to be hard. I would just say just go with the one that you think's the best, and know that no decision is etched in stone. That you got choices. You've always got choices, and remember that. But pick the one that you think's the best for you, and go with it.
Great job. I thought that was a tremendous interview. Again, interviewing a family member, your dad, a brother, sister, I don't think that's the easiest interview. And I could tell, I don't know if you caught him off guard. I don't know if you told him the questions ahead of time, but I think that those were some really insightful questions. I also seen your longer interview, which we'll post on our YouTube channel later this week. But I think it's a tough task to interview a family member, and I thought you did a good job.
Thank you.
Dina, what did you think?
I'm just personally wondering, because your dad probably was been at your games and everything, being there. So I know it's going to probably take a little toll on you not seeing Dad in the stands or whatever, because I don't know the distance. I'm not sure how far. Where is River Bluff at anyway?
It's like close to Columbia. It's about 2-hour drive from where I am. Yeah, and Dad's always been my number one supporter, and he's the one who catches for me. He'll write my workouts for me, and he's still doing those things when he comes home. But he definitely did make sure before he left that I was okay with it. If I wasn't okay with it, he told me he was going to stay, and he would stay, and it didn't matter to him. But I told him that it's a great opportunity, and sometimes you just got to go with it.
Well, I thought, I hated to see him leave because, I like your father on a personal level, but obviously from a professional standpoint, you can't blame him for going down there and to have a chance to work with a Coach Harden, somebody that he knows, and I think he'll do well. I'm going to bring on another child of a coach, Coach Leary. Let's bring Jack here to the show. Jack, I seen you kind of sitting back here in the background waiting your turn. So you can relate to Tally. Your dad's a coach. Got a tough thing though, and then when your dad goes from one school to the other.
Oh, I mean, my dad has changed schools, I think 2 or 3 times while I've been alive, and it is a big change. But once you get with those group of people at that school, that becomes your new family. So I think changing schools is definitely hard at first, but I think it's my dad changed schools this year, so he went from White Oak High School to Richlands High School, so it's a big change again. But I'm just excited, and I think changing schools is big, but it can be a good move.
Well, well said. You're 100% correct. Well, Tally, stick around. Don't leave us yet, but we're going to send you here to the back room and let you hang out with the other guys, and we're going to listen to what Jack had to say. All right, Jack, you got the floor now. Tell us who you interviewed, and you probably had the biggest, most high-profile interview, and you also had the longest interview. I had to really shrink it down to fit into our show tonight. But give us a little bit of a breakdown of how you chose who you wanted to talk to, and kind of give us an idea of how it went.
Well, I chose Dontrez Styles, who is currently ranked and definitely is deserving of the #1 basketball player in North Carolina, top 50 nationally, and he's committed to UNC. And so last week I did a football player, and so this week I decided I want to do a basketball player. And Dontrez being at Kinston High School, which is only 15 minutes away from me, was the perfect opportunity to get somebody that's not at my school but is still close to my area in Eastern North Carolina and as a big-time player. So I thought this was a perfect opportunity, and the way that I got to Dontrez was I've actually talked to the head basketball coach at Kinston, Perry Tyndall, before. So that's how both of them are on the interview. So I have the head basketball coach and Dontrez Styles on this interview.
And Dina, you're no stranger to basketball. You probably know more about basketball in this state than anybody. He picked a really good program, probably the most elite public school program in the state, at least in my opinion, to go after. And what do you think about that? He's really hitting some home runs on trying to go after some really big prospects, and his segment is Premier Prospect, so you got to hand it to him.
Yeah, he Kinston, they've had a few.
They're okay.
Basketball players.
A few.
Few of them.
Yeah.
And just they're considered the basketball town in North Carolina, and possibly the best small
the
town
country
basketball town in the country. So, you picked a good one. I've spoken to Dontrez just right after he committed to UNC and Kinston. They're always in the hunt for a state championship and should be in the running for one this year with Dontrez.
Well, Jack, without any further ado, let's look at the video. Now, again, this is only a really small segment of it. We'll post the whole video here later, but let's check it out.
Welcome to the second week of the North Carolina Preps show. This is the Premier Prospect segment. And today we have one of the best basketball players in the country, let alone North Carolina, Dontrez Styles from Kinston High School, and the head basketball coach at Kinston High School, Perry Tyndall. Dontrez goes to Kinston High School in Kinston, 6'6", small forward, UNC commit, and it was just a beast last season and is ready to get back to it for his senior year. And then Perry Tyndall has been the head coach, 7 wins away from his 200th win, 3-time state champion, and has 4 teams in the top 20 out of his career. So, as you can tell, we have 2 North Carolina legends right here. Dontrez, you committed before your senior season. So what was some of the main things that made you choose the Tar Heels over any other school in the nation?
Just playing for Coach Roy. He's a Hall of Fame coach. Who wouldn't want to be at Carolina? It was my dream school growing up. It's close to home, so it was a no-brainer for me.
With all these great players going to these big-name schools from Kinston, Coach Tyndall, how does Dontrez measure up to some of the great players that you have coached?
He's very similar. He's unique in his own way. I mean, he's Dontrez, and but the one thing that stick out, which has always marked some of the greats who have come out, are his work ethic and how much he loves and wants to be good, and also how coachable he is.
So obviously, Jack, that was a shortened episode out of the whole 15, 16 or so minutes that you had sent me. But 2 great individuals to talk to. I commend you for going out and getting a big fit.
Yes,
that was a great interview.
I thought the coach, Perry Tyndall, told us just as much about Dontrez as Dontrez did. I mean, you could really tell that he cared about his players, and he knew a bunch about Dontrez, so that was pretty encouraging.
Cool. Hey, I'm going to bring Chelsea on here because we're about to hear another basketball interview. But Chelsea, what'd you think about Jack tonight? Chelsea, we got you on mute. You need to.
Can you hear me now?
Absolutely. Let's do it again.
All right.
There we go.
Shout out to Verizon.
I loved it. I loved hearing from Dontrez and the coach. I really like seeing those highlights with the video too. John Wall tournament's a great tournament. One of I think the best in the country. And I love the questions asked. I think he dove deep. I think it was great. And I think the coach and player really makes it complete together.
Yeah.
Great. Well, Jack, appreciate it. We're going to send you back to play in the back room with the other guys. Try to stay out of trouble. We're going to hear Chelsea's interview. And again, tell us who you talked to and kind of give us the background of how you decided to go with this young man.
So I did Elijah Jameson, and I'm so glad he was able to do the interview. We had some issues with scheduling, and then the Zoom didn't work out. So we had to do this back and forth video. And he's from Lewisburg, which is still a distance from Raleigh, but he's also transferring to Liberty Heights. So I just think he's a great player. I'd spoken to him before a game. So I think it was great to see what he'd do in an interview, what he had to say.
Great. Well, hey, let's go ahead and get right to it. Great job.
All right. Hey, so for those who are watching, I'd like to introduce Elijah Jameson, who is class of 2022 from Lewisburg, North Carolina, and is a recent transfer to Liberty Heights. Elijah is a top prospect in North Carolina and holds several D1 offers. So this past month and so, you've had a stellar AAU season playing for Team Marie, Team E, incredible stats, and impressed multiple coaches. So if you could just tell us what those, tournaments have been like and the AAU experience in general.
This summer experience playing with Team Marie, I feel like it was a good experience. I only played one tournament with them, but I feel like through those tournaments, I feel like I played well. Coach Carr is a real cool dude. I just love playing with them. Me to Quavion, I feel like it was a fun experience. And then with Team E, which is basically Team Loaded, it was very easy playing with them because that's just the guys I've been playing with since 15 years. So we just have a chemistry that's like no other. So I just knew coming to play with them, I knew I was going to be able to play my game and get my teammates involved in everything that I wanted to do.
So now transferring to Liberty Heights, the word is you guys have a squad and will be a serious team to compete with. So if you could just tell us what those expectations this season coming from you guys are.
My and my teammates' expectations for Liberty Heights is just to win a lot of games. We want to be the best team in North Carolina, and also we want to be top 25 in the country. So just coming in every day in practice and working hard and just trying to get better every day with the team, which will ultimately lead us to our goal of being top 25 and being the best team in the state. So we just want to win as many games as possible, and everyone wants to get scholarships. So just if everyone comes in with that team ambition, then I feel like we could win it all.
All right, if you could describe yourself as a player in just some words, phrases, how would you describe yourself?
I describe myself as a player as real gritty. I like to get into the rim, shoot my mid-range game, get my teammates involved.
All right, finally, what are some of your goals coming up this season, either individually or as a team? What are you aiming for?
This season at Liberty Heights, I'm just wanting to show everybody that I can play the one, because everybody thinks I'm a combo guard, but I feel like, and also my coaches feel like I'm a point guard. So I just want to show everyone that I can. I feel like they know I can score, but I just want to show them that I have other intangibles to my game. So this is like Liberty Heights playing with Jonas, and I'm gonna be able to drive and pass to a big man for a dunk. So it'll be new, just traveling, 2-hour practices and stuff. But I feel like I wouldn't have came here if I knew I couldn't adapt. So
great job, Chelsea.
Thank you.
I really appreciate the effort from week 1 to week 2. And you always say in coaching, first game to second game, you'll never see more improvement than that first 2 games. And I thought you did a great job. Dina, what do you think?
Thank you.
Yes, sure did. You've been, all you guys are improving. It's just glad to see some hoops players on here.
For sure.
We're first. We'll spread the wealth to everything.
And, we brought it up last week, Dina, that, hey, for the first time, I think ever, we've got basketball before football. So why not go ahead and start kicking off our hoops coverage?
Well, basketball coaches are getting a little revenge back on the football coaches because, up here at my school with B.W. Holt and Joe Hutchins and Scott Johnson going in these long playoff runs, I know Danny Anderson and Rocky Horton is sure glad that they get all their players and get to do their playoff runs themselves.
I'm not laughing at you guys, by the way. We've got a football coach that just joined our back room, and I think he's making some faces at all these basketball comments.
Well, but you got on you picked at Brianna last week about the Lincolnton and her being at North Lincoln.
Hey, wait, if we're going to talk about her, let's bring her up. Here you go, Brianna.
Okay. So Chris has got my rivals hat on, the Elk and Buck and Elks. And if you know anything about up here in Northwest North Carolina, Star Mountain Elk and the bow of the bridge. That's I just had to bring that up because you had to put on that Buck and Elk hat on. But you got some Eastern flavor here.
And I got a Pound Pack, Washington Packing, Poundco Packing Company jersey on. So, we're spreading it out. Brianna, what do you think about Chelsea? I thought she did a great job this week.
I did too, and I really like that she asked questions not just about himself individually, but also as a team to show that he also cares about his teammates and how they succeed in their career too.
Agree.
Thank you.
Couldn't agree more. Well, Brianna, you've got the luxury of going last. Last week you had to be the guinea pig, and you were the first one to go. So I'm going to let you kind of sit back to the end. We had some technical difficulties, but fortunately, through the art of some editing and some stuff, I think we were able to really make this come about. Your interview was tremendous. Just tell everybody who you decided to talk to this week. And Chelsea, we're going to send you back to the back.
See ya.
Okay, this week I interviewed Jacob McGill, and I chose him because I recently heard the news that he transferred from Lincoln Charter, which is a great basketball program, who went 12-0 in their conference last year, and he transferred from Lincoln Charter to Lincolnton. So I wanted to talk to him about like the reasons why he did that and pretty much how that's all going to go in Lincolnton this year.
Oh, and by the way, you're letting me down this week. I thought that we were going to see maybe some fluorescent yellow or some more hot food. You set the bar so high last week, and we have to get back there.
I will next week.
Okay. Well, let's check out this interview. And again, great job and great recovery. I know the video didn't turn out great, but we got it fixed. So great job. Here we go.
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the second episode of Ballin' with Brianna. My interview got a little messed up and my face was cut off, so I made this introduction video to introduce who I interviewed, and I did Jacob McGill, a guard for basketball, who recently transferred from Lincoln Charter to Lincolnton. Thank you for watching. You recently transferred from Lincoln Charter to Lincolnton. What were some of the reasons for transferring?
The two main reasons were, one, like a family thing. My mom, dad, grandparents, everyone went to Lincolnton. So, and then for two, it's closer. So like in the mornings, it's like more convenient getting there and stuff. But Lincoln Charter, they're a great program. Like the coaching's great. Like me and Coach Gabriel still text. Like we're cool, and they have a great basketball program down there.
Okay. How does athletics make you a better student?
It motivates you in class. Keep your grades up, not get in trouble, and you just want to be like an overall like example to the kids that aren't student athletes.
Absolutely. While we are living in a time of uncertainty, how does it feel to receive the news of getting to have a season?
It was super exciting. All the players and coaches were super excited, and it should be a fun season this year.
Okay. How do you deal with the pressure of having to perform in front of a crowd?
Really, when I'm on the court, I try to just like focus it out and just focus what's on the court.
Okay. What advice could you give to someone wanting to play basketball?
The main thing is confidence, really, having self-confidence in yourself. And then when you're on the court, just slow down and just practice.
What was your most exciting game and why?
It was last year against Mountain Island Charter. We went into 3 overtimes, and it was just like a super hype environment to be in.
Okay. And did you guys end up winning that game?
Yes, we did.
Okay. Well, thank you, Jacob, for everything, and hope you have a good season.
And welcome everybody back here to the screen. I was trying to see if I could catch y'all sleeping, and it looks like I did a pretty good job of it. Great. And I feel like we lost somebody. Who are we missing?
Jack.
Jack. Come on, guy. But hey, I wanted to catch you guys. Hey, there he is. Did I catch you sleeping, Jack?
Sorry. I accidentally clicked out of the tab.
No, it's all good. All good. Guys, for real, great job. I know you guys have done a great job in learning to get these videos down. We're going to continue to work on it. Practice makes perfect. And I'm thoroughly impressed with your efforts, and we're going to try to build some more players to the team here and really improve our coverage. But tremendous job. I couldn't say more. I'm going to bring on our special guest for tonight now, though. He knows a little bit about coaching people up too, and he's had a chance to sit here and watch all of your videos. Coach Adrian Snow, welcome to the program.
Oh, thanks for having me. It looks like this bunch has got a whole lot younger than you and Dina, so that's a good thing.
That they do. Dina and I, she said it, and I have to agree with her. She and I aren't getting any younger, and we've got to find the next Dinas and Chris's out there, and I think we've got a good start.
This is awesome, guys. I'm glad y'all getting to do this, and these two are great to learn from. They've been a big part of high school athletics, and especially for me, high school football. I can remember Dina back in the day. I was a Surrey Central grad. She's been at Star Mountain. I want to think, I may be wrong here, Dina, but Did you attend Surrey Community at a little bit during one time? I may be wrong.
No, I didn't. I went straight to Wingate.
Okay,
I got a scholarship at Wingate.
That's what I thought. I knew you. I remember watching.
Melissa did. My sister went over there.
That may have been what I got there.
But with you, Adrian, you remember? I remember when I was coaching and you was reffing, and you about gave me a tee one day.
Well, bottom line is you weren't gonna holler at me. I wasn't gonna. I one woman that can holler at me. She's here at the house, but that's about it.
Well, Coach Snow, one of the main reasons I wanted you to get on with these young guys here because I think they've done an exceptional job. But you've done a great job. We talk about all the recruits you get in college, but you've also got your programs where you've got some of your most technical students assisting your football team. And that just goes to show that, we've got one future college athlete, maybe 2 or 3 on here, but, there are avenues to get to college in athletics more than just on the gridiron or on the court field. These guys are showing it tonight.
We have what we started this. I've been at West Forsyth for 13 years. 13 years ago, we started what we call the Green and Gold Crew. They're in charge of all our technology. I don't touch a piece of technology at West Forsyth. I had a guy the other day ask me what kind of system we use. I said, I don't know. I said, and literally we have all our young people, they take care of everything. In my career, we've had over 70 kids go to school basically for football, but 2 of those 70 went because of the technology group and got money. One went to Western Carolina, which is still there now. And then one went all the way up to Michigan, and he went up there. I'm having a brain cramp where at school he was at. What's the one that's really good? The D2 school there. Chris will probably know. Grand Valley. Anyway, so he went to Grand Valley. Both got money to do it. I mean, so you guys, it's a good thing, to be honest with you. So it's hey, they're all avenues, and there's all avenues to be around sports. So it's a positive. So, all right. So which one? There's one of you that's at Lincolnton, or just interviewed somebody from Lincolnton?
I just interviewed someone from Lincolnton. I'm at North Lincoln.
I got North Lincoln. Well, the principal at Lincolnton, he coached with me, Preston Clark. He's amazing. The athletic director there by the name of Tom Harper is one of my best friends. So I'm one of these guys. I'm getting too old. I know a lot of people, and so when I saw that, I was thinking about those guys. But North Lincoln, your football coach is who?
Nick Basil.
And Nick Basil might be one of the best people on the face of the earth. Nick is awesome. Y'all got a really good D lineman too, don't you?
Yes.
That's what I thought. That was big time recruit. Yeah, Nick does a great job, and it's been good. So congratulations for you guys being a part of this, and thank you for what you're doing.
And Coach, just to give you a rundown, Brianna, we just established that she's at North Lincoln. Todd Haglar, her dad, that is Coach Todd Haglar.
Wow. I worked with your dad in the East-West All-Star game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, your dad might be one of the best people on the face of the earth, too. Good Lord. He's awesome. And then
we got Jack. We got Jack and Jack. Jack Leary is the son of Coach Eric Leary. He's down in Jacksonville. He's at Richlands High School. Jack Pamucci beside him. He is at Ardrey Kell. And then we got Chelsea here in the middle. She's at Sanderson in Raleigh. So we've got it covered. But, hey, I know we're always looking for more members of the team. So, if you got a young person out there that thinks they can contribute to covering the state, I'd love to hear from them.
That's awesome. Thank you for what you guys are doing.
Absolutely. Well, guys, y'all did a great job. I'm going to give you the rest of the night off. If you want to stick around and come back at the end, you can. But again, hats off to all of you, and we appreciate the work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Good job.
All right. Have a good evening. There you go. Coach, back in town, got some news that private schools are going to kick off playing football here in a few weeks, next month. We've been seeing the internet. There's been football all around the Southeast, all over the country, just not here. Obviously, we know that we're going to kick off in February, March, April. I know that you're probably happy that you're not coaching up at Watauga this year.
I'm like Jack caught when you think that. I'm glad that we ain't got to go to Boone. Woo! I've been there, done that. The hawk starts rolling through, and it's vicious.
I start thinking about them and Avery and Ash. They might have the best home field advantage in North Carolina this year.
Well, you got even that Smoky Mountain Conference. I mean, that's some of the best football in our state. That some of these guys down here in Charlotte and Winston and all that, they don't know. That's what's kind of been cool about my little tenure. I've been around a few places, and even small schools to big schools. And the Smoky Mountain Conference, you might not get better football than that bunch right there. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know if you won't go to Hayesville or all in them places. It's cold. But
I tell you, you don't want to go through the Nantahala Gorge.
No.
We did 2 years in a row, and it snowed on us. So, but it was a better. The second time we went up there had a big wind, so the snow didn't matter. Don't forget about Allegheny. It gets cold in Sparta too.
No kidding.
Yeah, they're having earthquakes up there too. Lord of mercy. That's another story. Anyway.
Well, one of the reasons I wanted to bring you on, Coach, is because I know that you had told me about the initiative that you guys had kind of worked with the guys over at North Carolina Fusion, the big athletic parks, I think in Greensboro and in Winston-Salem. And there's going to be some, there may not be games played, but there's going to be an opportunity for some young guys to get some film, to do some 7-on-7s and be coached up and still be active on Friday nights. And I thought maybe you could tell us about it.
Yeah, well, first and foremost, we're going to follow the NCHSA rules. Okay, let's go ahead and talk that. I've had a few calls concerning, and that's it. Basically, what we wanted to do is we wanted to give kids opportunities. I mean, right now we got kids struggling. They're struggling mentally, socially, and right now they need to be able to have some sense of release. And I'm not. The virus is real. I understand that. But I mean, it's one of those things where they gotta be apart and find something to do. And I tell people all along, I tell everybody about Nazion Johnson. Nobody knows about Nazion Johnson. Nazion Johnson was a third string tailback at West Forsyth last year. He was a really, really good player. But the problem was we had two phenomenal tailbacks in front of him. And it's like he's got to have a chance. Him, not just him. I just use him as an example to basically showcase their talents. And I hope everything goes well in February and we get to rock and roll. But, there ain't no guarantees. And so biggest thing is we want to give some kids an opportunity to do that. I won't coach nothing. I just kind of help those guys kind of get it going. And but ultimately it's going to be good for the kids and have a chance for them to compete and have some fun.
And if I'm not mistaken, they've got equipment set up for film, and
yes.
It's going to be an opportunity for them to have film to send to coaches and to hopefully maybe even get evaluated.
Most all the fields, the turf fields will be able to be filmed, which is awesome. So that gives them a chance that they could be able to cut that tape, put it in the huddle, use it, and basically go from there. And ultimately, when we started this thing, it was about one thing. And somebody says, "No, you're trying to gain that." It had nothing to do with advantage. It had everything to do with one thing, and that was the kids. Period. That's all it was all about. And that's all we were trying to do. We were trying to help them.
I agree. And Dean, I mean, I know that you've got some camps and some other opportunities for some players to get involved too. And that's just what I'm hoping to see is just a chance for these guys to do something because, an idle mind, it's more likely to get in trouble. There's so much going on, and we just want these guys to be occupied, give them the opportunity to go out, be seen, socialize, and just have some camaraderie with their peers.
Yeah, these kids, they need each other, and the coaches need the kids. We all don't need cabin fever,
No.
So, but I've been to a couple places that 7-on-7, some camps, and everywhere I went, protocols and everything's running smoothly. And I think just like you said, Coach Snow, all we're doing this is for the kids because we know everybody's not going to be a D1 kid.
That's right.
And majority of them are going to be D2 and maybe even D3 or possibly JUCO or something. It's just to get some film for every kid to have at least an opportunity to go to the next level for some kind of education because we know that's the ultimate goal is to get the education.
We tell everybody, there are a lot of kids that come to school at West Forsyth to get an education. There are also a lot of kids that come to school to play sports or football. But through those sports, guess what? They still get an education. And if that vehicle pushes them along to get where they need to be educationally, whatnot, whether it's going or beyond. Well, some kids, it might give them the structure and the discipline to help them just graduate high school. And that's a positive. But it also gives them maybe the structure and discipline that they may say, you know what, I want to continue to do this. And if you do, guess what? It's awesome. And we're great for it. And I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for high school football. I wouldn't. And we're just trying to do everything we can for our kids. And like I said, we got kids struggling. We're lucky enough that we get to have some workouts. It's not exactly like we would like it, but it's the best thing we got right now. And we're going to continue to do it because I get to see them, ask them about class, ask them about their families, what's going on. And that's I'll be honest with you. And it's also good for me because if I'm out there, I ain't eating at the house. So that's a good thing. If I'm at the house, I'm going to be eating.
Absolutely.
I don't want to do that.
Coach Larry Bass wants to tell everybody hello. Coach Bass down there at Lakewood High School.
Oh, cool.
Hey, Coach. Well, Coach,
yeah.
how did you feel Friday? I just didn't know how to feel. You know, when you've been around football for so long, and it just didn't seem like mid-August Friday night, and you're at home. I actually watched a live stream of a Tennessee high school football game on the computer. That was me Friday night.
I'll be honest with you, 37 years. I figured it up. I've been a part of football in the fall for 37 years in a row. That's Little League, playing at Surrey Central, coaching, and a part. It's been 37 years in a row. And Jimmy Owen, the man, the myth, the legend right there. But in 37 years, that's what I've always done. I didn't know what to do. My wife, she pulled in the driveway, and I stepped out in the garage and said, honey, I'm home. And she said, you need to be somewhere else. You don't need to be here. And but I stayed at home. I ain't going to lie to you. The NFHS, they probably gained some money from North Carolina because I end up paying the money. And I end up I watched Phoenix City, Alabama versus Hoover. That's what I watched. I watched that game, and guess what I'll probably be doing Friday night? I'll be doing it again somewhere else. And eventually, if I can go ride somewhere, I'll ride. I don't care where it's at.
You know, after I put a tweet out there Friday afternoon looking at games, and I had several head coaches, athletic directors, and schools in Alabama saying, if you can get here fast enough, we'll get you on the sideline. But by that time, it's like a 7-hour drive. I just didn't think I could feasibly make it happen. No. But I want to think about it this weekend. I'm not going to lie. It's going to be something that we're going to consider. And if you want to ride, I know where you live, Coach, so we'll figure that out. But, you know, I was doing the math as well. I think Friday night, with the one a year that I was in Iraq and I missed one season completely, and then 1 year in basic training in the Army, I missed a few games. But take out those 2 seasons. I think this was probably the first opening week I probably haven't been to since maybe 79, 80, somewhere around in there. That's a long time, a lot of football that we've missed.
Yeah, it tells you're old too.
I know, but you're right there with me.
When I graduated in 93, so that's 27 years that so because I missed a lot of games when I was in college, but you know, I went over to Schoolhouse today and just seeing that grass. I mean, I was like, man, our grass has never looked this good. And this August,
turned up, but now
nobody's been on it. So
that's right.
Just beautiful grass.
And one other thing before we get going, Coach, and I'll give you an opportunity to talk about a good friend of ours. And I gave him an invite to come on tonight, and he felt like he needed to get it approved by his company. But Luke Kovacevic, the Rydell rep for this side of the state, nobody, the average fan will have no idea who he is, but, you know, outside of a couple people, there's very few that I think have impacted coaching in this side of the state as more than him in the past 5 or 6 years.
I'll be honest, I'm devastated. I'll use the word devastated. I'll be honest, I still remember the first day I met him. I still remember the first thing I ever said to him. I told him that I know he's going to have plenty of clients, but when he's around me, I just need you to make me feel like I'm the only client you have. And I'll be honest with you, from the point of that start of that day, it was on. And basically, he has become one of my best friends. And when I say I'm devastated, I am. He's had a bunch of people. We talked 2 or 3 times a day. He's had all these people send him farewell letters and notes, and I can't do it. I can't do it because I mean he's one of those guys that I mean he's been one heck of a rep. I mean, there ain't no doubt about that. But he became one heck of a friend, and he will continue to be one heck of a friend. And I think a lot of him and his family, we've become pretty big tight. And I've been on a bunch of rides with Lou. We've been everywhere. I mean, Lou's one of those guys. He don't much grass gonna grow on his feet. He's gonna roll. And me and him, he takes me everywhere. We went to the Bristol All-Star. We went to the All-Star race this year. We went up there. He called me and said, "Hey, let's go to the race." I said, "I'm in. Let's ride." And we did. So, I mean, so it's one of those things. I'm going to miss him, seeing him as much as I do now, but I'm going to continue to see him.
And we've seen that comment right there from Jimmy Owen. And you know, he's been one of the great equipment guys and just ambassadors for the Shrine Bowl. But even Lou, I mean, there's countless. I mean, who knows how many players that he has helped in getting safer equipment. I've seen the Shrine Bowl call him down, and he drove 4 hours down to Spartanburg just to fix a guy's helmet or make sure a guy was properly equipped for that game. I mean, what he did was incredible.
Yes, I mean, he cared about people. I'm trying to plug my phone up. I hope I don't die on you. But basically, if I do, but I thought I was going to have enough juice, and now I can't find where my daughter's got the plug, but that's another story. But basically, he cared about kids. It wasn't just about making money for Rydell. It was ultimately about caring for people, and he was awesome with that, and he will continue to be awesome with that. And what he's doing, where he's at now, I mean, he'll be great. I mean, there ain't no doubt about it.
Well, Coach, you're trying to find your plug.
Yeah, I'm going to get it, but that's all right.
I was going to say, we've tied you up long enough tonight.
I had one question for Coach. This league, for people that may be listening or players that might be listening, who's eligible to play? Is it just a certain – is it Forsyth, Davie?
No, I think it's anybody that can get there from this area. They're going to play in a couple of different places, to be honest with you. They're going to play in Forsyth County. They're also going to play in Guilford. So, I mean, anybody that wants to play. But again, the biggest thing, they got to abide by the NCHSA rules when it comes to the coaching aspect. The kids can do it because it's an outside thing. They can sign up and play. They sign up as an individual player. But a lot of the teams are kind of, hey, they're getting people together and they're wanting to play, and so they're getting to do it. So it's awesome. So I mean, it's awesome for just an opportunity. It's an opportunity to be a part. It's an opportunity for the kids to go ahead and start doing something and kind of get going. And like I said, they're going to video. I mean, the games are all get videoed. I mean, this facility is, I'll be honest, I ain't had nothing to do with that, but it's second to none now. I'm like, they've got like cameras on all.
And there goes, well, he's back.
So how about that? So there you are. So it's one of those things. It's cool. It's a cool experience.
How can somebody find out? Is there a website? Is there a contact info if someone is interested?
I'll send something to you. It's you can go on Fusion's website and look at it. I don't know the exact comment of what it is, but go check on Fusion's website and go from there. But they've kind of got everything lined up. I have nothing to do with that. They kind of know what's going on when it comes to running events and stuff like that. They've done a really good job. Gary Gartner's the guy I've dealt with, and he's awesome. Yeah, Brad Bouchard talking about
I can imagine a comment from Brad.
Yeah. Bottom line is, I mean, listen, it didn't go out. Basically, I had somebody call me. Most of the time, it's somebody like him who won't leave me alone. But that's all right.
Well,
Brad's a good one, though. He does a bunch of work for us at West. He's a good man.
That program wouldn't run without Brad.
Oh, well, if you ask him, that's the truth.
I don't really have anything else for you, Coach. Dina, anything else for Coach before we let him go?
Just enjoy talking to you, and hopefully we'll get to have some football soon. Maybe
appreciate what you.
Maybe see you somewhere down the line.
We'll be around. If you need me, holler. I appreciate what you guys do. Thank you for what you do for football, North Carolina, and all sports.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thanks, Coach. All right, Dina, that was quite a show tonight. I think it went well. Again, can't say enough for what these young ladies and young men have done, helping us out with their videos tonight. But all in all, I think it was a great show, and always good to get Coach Snow on. He's one of the best.
credit. We have some great coaches all over the state and all sports. So looking forward to getting more on and talking just high school sports. That's all we can do right now is talk. So just have to wait and see what happens.
Yep, we'll get there. And I've had a couple comments come on asking about my jersey. So this is a Washington jersey, not the Redskins, by the way, the Pound Pack. So I thought I would show them some love tonight. And, of course, the Elkin hat. I forgot about that, Dean. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have wore that one.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'll send you
my mom was an Elkin alum, so no issues there.
All right. Well, Dina, for all of our correspondence and for everything you've done for years at NC Prep, and it was a great show and appreciate you doing it with us again. And I guess we'll do it again next Wednesday.
Yeah, we're locked and loaded and ready to go for next week. So I'm always anxious to see what these kids are up to and see what they got planned for the next edition. Thank
Absolutely.
You as well.
And we had Mac Brown last week. Let's say we might give a call to Coach Dorn, see if NC State wants to come on next week.
We'll try. We got a lot of colleges, so we'll ask everybody. We're equal opportunity. We can't say employer. We're equal opportunity interviewers.
Absolutely. Well, Dina, I appreciate you and all you do, and had fun tonight, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thank you for all you do too, Chris.
All right, and thanks everybody for watching. We had a great time again for Dina, for all the young ladies and gentlemen that helped us out. Thank y'all, and we'll do it next week.